Apple didn't kill Nokia. That's one of the biggest myths in tech history. Because years before the iPhone, Nokia already had touchscreen prototypes. Its engineers saw the future. Its researchers knew exactly where the industry was heading. And yet, within a few years, the company lost everything. How is that possible? Because while Apple was fighting the competition, Nokia was fighting itself. Nokia ruled the world. In 2007, Nokia controlled nearly 40% of the global mobile phone market. Its phones were everywhere. Its profits were measured in billions, and many executives believed the company was untouchable. Why wouldn't they? They had the strongest brand, the largest distribution network, the biggest market share, and more resources than almost anyone else. From the outside, Nokia looked impossible to beat. But inside the company, the problems had already begun. They already had the future. And here's the part most people never hear about. Years before Steve Jobs introduced the iPhone, Nokia engineers were experimenting with touchscreen phones. The company had prototypes, research teams, concept devices. Some employees already knew exactly where the industry was heading. Touchscreens, apps, internet-connected devices. The future wasn't sitting inside Apple's offices. The future was sitting inside Nokia's offices. But there was one problem. The people building the future weren't the people making the decisions. While engineers were thinking about tomorrow, executives were protecting today's profits. The moment everything changed. Then, January 2007 arrived. Steve Jobs pulled the first iPhone out of his pocket. Today, most people see that moment as the beginning of the smartphone revolution. But inside Nokia, the reaction was very different. Some employees immediately understood how dangerous the iPhone was. Others laughed. The phone was expensive, it lacked many features, and it didn't even have a physical keyboard. Nokia still dominated the market. Why worry? But that was their biggest mistake. They failed to understand that the iPhone wasn't competing with existing phones. It was competing with the future. The culture of fear. And this is where the story becomes much darker. According to former employees, Nokia gradually developed a culture of fear. Managers were under enormous pressure. Nobody wanted to deliver bad news. Projects behind schedule were presented as successful. Technical problems were downplayed, and impossible deadlines continued to be promised. Nobody wanted to walk into a meeting and say, "We have a problem." And when people become afraid to tell the truth, leadership stops seeing reality. They begin seeing only what they want to see. And that's exactly what happened inside Nokia. The secret war. At the same time, another battle was happening inside the company. Some teams wanted to continue with Symbian. Others wanted an entirely new operating system. Managers fought for budgets. Departments fought for influence. Everyone pushed their own solution. Instead of one clear strategy, Nokia had several competing visions. And while Nokia was fighting itself, Apple kept moving forward, month after month, year after year, without slowing down. The big lie. Today, most people say, Nokia lost because Apple had better technology. But that's not true. Nokia had world-class engineers. Nokia had billions of dollars. Nokia had the technology. In some areas, Nokia even had the ideas first. The biggest lie in this entire story is that Nokia didn't see the future. It did. It simply couldn't act fast enough. The company wasn't defeated by a lack of talent. It was defeated by bad decisions. The Microsoft gamble. Then came one of the most controversial decisions in Nokia's history. Stephen Elop became CEO. Before joining Nokia, he worked for Microsoft. Shortly afterward, Nokia announced a partnership with Microsoft. Windows Phone was supposed to become the company's future. Some employees believed it was Nokia's last chance to survive. Others believed it was surrender. Even today, people still debate whether this decision could have saved Nokia. But one thing is certain, it didn't stop the collapse. The fall. Apple kept growing. Android took over the world. Samsung surged ahead. And Nokia began to collapse. The company that once controlled nearly half the market was suddenly fighting for survival. Eventually, Nokia sold its mobile phone division to Microsoft. The king of mobile phones was gone. The lesson. Nokia didn't lose because it failed to see the future. It lost because it failed to act on what it already knew. It saw touchscreens. It saw smartphones. It saw the internet revolution. But internal politics, fear, slow decision-making, and power struggles all prevented the company from acting in time. Apple didn't win because it saw the future first. Apple won because it acted first. And by the time Nokia finally decided which direction to take, it was already too late.